Today, we are circling back on a video I made probably a few weeks back, maybe a month back at this point, and that would be about this here M12 soldering iron that in my personal opinion, prematurely failed. And yeah, in an act of trying to be ironic, I decided to repair it with which has been my go-to soldering, excuse me, iron for probably over a year now, and it has served me well. And that's this Maliff DeWalt one. You can see the irony here, I guess. But yeah, so I mentioned in that video that I'd throw a link down for this one in the old description, and it's been discontinued, so no link available. So I kind of went on a little bit of a escapade as far as trying to find a new one for you guys that will run off of DeWalt batteries. I saw. Doc from Last Best Tools over there. He did a video on a, what is it? Parsagi soldering station that runs off of M18 batteries. I got more DeWalt batteries than I do M18 batteries, so I picked up the DeWalt version. So yeah, that's this here in the box. So what do you say we flip the camera down, take a look at the specs, take a look at it, maybe test it, see what's going on with it, and yeah, let's get into it. So before we get into the video, let me address some comments that I always get when I talk about soldering in a video, and that's first one would be just get yourself one of those TS100s. They're great, and I agree. This is a great little soldering iron, a nice form factor. That I like, nice and small, so you can kind of be really precise with the things. The problem is that using this thing in a engine bay or any crowded or cluttered area, the barrel plug that powers it, or even I guess that's USB, a micro USB. I don't even know if that powers it on this one. I don't care, but yeah, the plug just constantly pulls out. The first time I used this thing, it unplugged itself like 5 different times because there's no weight to it, and it's just a barrel plug. And the fact that I didn't throw this across the warehouse that I was working in is a testament to my maturing and ability to control my temper. But yeah, on a bench, awesome soldering iron. I highly recommend it in a cluttered area where you got things that could yank on things. The other problem is too is that it's just so small and lightweight. The cord hanging off the end of it makes it impossible to put it somewhere where it's not going to fall and then start burning things. The other question, comment I get is use a butane one. I don't like butane soldering irons because they have the jet that comes out the side, the little exhaust jet that tends to burn up other things that are in the area if you're not paying attention. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. We're saying that now for the people who see a thumbnail and make the "I have a better thing" comment and don't watch the entire video, so we can all just look at their comment and laugh. So moving on. All right. Well, this is the newest and the latest and the greatest thing that I could find. The Parsagi. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. It comes in a very unassuming box. That's the actual unit there. Comes with the lead, of course. A little owner's manual or user manual. It's actually nice. It tells you stuff in English, and then you get yourself a T12 tip out of the box. It's pretty similar to the old Maliff. We'll hold them side by side. Just kind of looking at the thing from orbit here. It's got a color LCD. Is it an LCD display? We're going to call it LCD because that's what I'm thinking about right now. Little dial here. We'll get into all the menus. It's a lot more feature friendly than the old Maliff. That's where the iron actually plugs in. It's got a lot of Chinese products are using these nowadays. It is an actual latching switch and not a momentary switch, which means it's probably not sucking down on your battery while it's sitting there because it needs a positive connection. Got a spot in the back for a barrel plug, which is that voltage or amps? I don't know. I'm guessing it's, oh no, voltage is right here. 17 to 24 volts, and I'm guessing that is 5.5 amps, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'll never use it, so I really don't care. And it's got itself a nice little iron holder there. Now, looking at it side by side to the old Maliff that was, again, featured on this channel probably better part of 2 years ago. Yeah, I mean, very similar as far as form factor goes. Maliff got these extra 2 leads down here, but I don't think they actually hook up to anything. I think this is just a generic connector that they throw into these things. Both have the barrel connection. The Maliff just has a little rocker switch here. I think up is 20 volts and down is 24 volts. And that's for the other battery platforms that these style uh, uh, can get plugged into. They just change the color of the case. The Maliff, it was basically just set temperature up and down, and you can change from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And that is a 5-pin iron connector. The new one is actually a 5-pin iron connector, so I'm assuming that you could use the Maliff iron in the Parsagi if you chose to. I'm guessing. I'm not going to try it because I don't trust that they wired these up correctly, and I don't want to burn this up in the beginning of the video. But it does plug in and it does screw in, so attempt at your own at your own risk there. If I am correct, yes, this does use, I just looked at the Maliff thing. This does use a T12 tip, just like this one over here. Now, speaking of the actual iron itself, let's get this guy out of the package here. And then to insert it, you just pull that guy off. Try not to drop it on the floor. Slide the sleeve over there. And then just plug her in like so. There we go. And then you just line up the little alignment tab here with the thingy, push it in, tighten down the collar, and you're good to go. Now, getting into the specs of the thing, we'll take a look at this obviously a little bit later, but it is a 20-volt DeWalt powered soldering station. We've already covered that. Depending on what country you're in, I'm sure it's called 18 volts in countries that don't let battery or power tool companies lie about their voltage. They're calling it 10-second heat up time. I guess that really depends on how hot you're trying to get it. It ranges from 932 degrees Fahrenheit up to or 500 degrees Celsius. For me, my first soldering station only had Celsius, so I always look at Celsius when I'm soldering. That's just the way it is. Low voltage protection. It's got a standby mode and a sleep mode. And again, we talked about it. It's got a T12 tip. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Keep the instructions nearby just in case I need a quick refresher. But we're going to plug this into a XR 6 amp hour DeWalt battery that is mostly charged, good enough for what we're doing today. Slap her in there and then kind of get this over somewhere. This is a gray silicone mat. It's heat resistant, so you don't have to worry about burning your mat while you're doing your soldering there. I've had this back even when I was using doing my drone stuff. But turn it on the side there, a little LED ring to indicate that it's turned on. And then the full color display will ramp up to the pre-selected temperature. Let's zoom in a little bit here so we can kind of point out what it's actually showing on the display. All right, take that a little bit more. And get it to focus. Good enough. Let's touch it. There we go. All right, so going across the display here, let me get a pointer. That's not a very good pointer. That'll make a good pointer. Up at the top here in red, which you can barely see, that would be the desired temperature, the preset temperature, which you can change by coming over here. Over here, it selects the tip style you got. We got a T12, so that's obviously what we're looking at here. 17.9 is the battery voltage that of the DeWalt battery that you got right there. And then it's got a little power gauge down here, which as it heats up, you'll see this kind of jump up while it's trying to match the temperature that it is looking for. One thing I did forget to mention, that it is PID Temperature control, PID, is basically an algorithmic system. It's bulletproof. They use it in industry all the time. Even my drones flew off of it. And yeah, that's about it. And let's knock it down to 300. And well, let's take it down so I don't sit here cooking a tip while we're doing the video. Before we do that, one thing I did want to show you is the display here. When you have the iron and you are not using it, if you insert it into the holder over here, which is a nice stout holder, it puts it into standby mode, and you could select what temperature you want to have it in on standby mode. And it's got a little timer that's counting down over here, which will put it to sleep. Again, you could preset that in the menus there. All right, so getting into the menus on the thing, push and hold the little knob here. That brings up the menu selection screen, I guess would be a better word. First menu option is tip type or tip select. T12 is what it comes on default, and that's what comes with it. I have no interest in changing that to the other style. Sleep mode. Sleep mode is goes to sleep if you put it in the base, or it'll go to sleep at a given point in time if you just leave it sitting there without touching it. Sleep temperature. Sleep temperature comes default at 100 degrees Celsius. I like 200 degrees Celsius because I don't leave it sitting that long, and I don't want to have to wait for the tip to heat itself back up. If you're leaving it sitting for a long period of time, 100 is probably better for you, because that way these tips, when they sit there just kind of cooking, it messes them up. So it's a good idea to kind of let it kick down to a lower temperature. But like for me, 200 will be fine, because I'm usually soldering around that 300 to 400 range, Celsius temperature range there. Sleep time. You can adjust that through the one second, let me look at that. Sleep time is the minutes as far as how long it's sitting in there, and it'll actually go into sleep mode as compared to standby mode. Standby time, same difference. Select temperature or temperature set. Like again, I said I go off of C with soldering irons. You can change it to Fahrenheit if you wish. Temperature units. This is how many skips you get with every click of the knobs. So every time you click this knob, you get 10 jumps as far as degrees in temperature. And temperature calibration, if you have a calibrating, soldering iron calibrating tool, which I don't have, you could set the calibrations on this thing. Nope, don't want to do that. Alarm voltage. If it gets to a certain voltage, it'll beep off a little alarm letting you know that your battery's coming dead. It's set at 16 volts right there. That's fine with me. Protection voltage set at 15 volts, and at 15 volts it just basically shuts itself off so it doesn't over discharge your battery. We'll test that a little bit further down the road in this here video. Light, that's just the dimming of the display in the front. Restores back to factory defaults, languages obviously, and exit, which we will do now. All right, I got her plugged into the old benchtop power supply over here, and what do you say we test the little low voltage warning and the low voltage cutoff? Hopefully that is focused on my little side camera here. Let's zoom that out and do a little better with that. There we go. We're set at 20 volts. And let us turn this guy on. And we're at the point now where, let's see what it pulls, what it's heating up. We got it set for 300 degrees, heating up. Pulling about 2 amps, give or take. 42 watts, 20 volts. Not too bad. And once we achieve the temperature, it should just ramp on down, which is why these things are also nice, because they don't kill your battery like most heating elements do for tools. So we're going to put that in old, actually, no, let's not put it in standby mode. Let's put it in power mode over here. And I'm going to kind of sneak my hand around the camera. And we are going to ramp the voltage down and see what this thing does. I think 16 volts is where we said it was looking at. Tell you one thing, the voltage calibration on this thing is a little off. 16.7, I got 16.1 on the soldering iron. Not a big deal. But there we go. We got the warning at 16 volts that it's getting low. 16 volts as far as this thing's concerned. And then right around 15. 15.2 volts. Yeah, 0%. It stops sucking power, but the display stays lit and it's letting you know. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Can't argue with those results. Well, it wouldn't be much of a soldering station video unless we actually solder something. So let's take that guy off of the stand so it's good and hot by the time we're ready to use it. We got ourselves just a little piece of wire here. We're going to do it the lazy way and kind of just give her a twist. We'll stick her in the helping hands, which don't buy these. These are junk. And yeah, it's all good to go. And this stuff right here, liquid flux, I've been watching Big Clive use this type of stuff for years, and figure I'd give it a try. I usually use the soldering pens, but I usually use the pens like I would liquid flux, so I might as well just have the nice clean applicator for it. And yeah, what the heck, let's give it a try. And this stuff, just kind of whack it down here. Any smoke you see while soldering isn't lead evaporating into the air. It is just the flux burning off, which is basically pine tar resin. It's like you ever been next to a campfire. And let's tin the tip a little bit here. Like that smoke right there. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're good. I mean, if you're doing this 8 hours a day, get some ventilation, but just sitting doing onesie twosies at the bench will probably be all right. And yeah, there you go. If I get it on camera, that'd be nice. Not too bad. I got my little cleaner. I'll link all this stuff in the description down there. The cleaners are important. I know a lot of guys that like to use metal or steel brushes on them, which takes the coating off of the tip, and after you do that, you must just throw the tip away. It's got to be brass. If you're going to use a brass, well, if you're going to use a brush, use a brass brush. You can get those at any of your home style stores there. But as far as the soldering goes, yeah, that was quick and easy. Kind of take that if you really want it to be cute about it, fold it over, put some heat shrink on it, and then good to go. Let's try a board. All right, I got a little electronic speed controller back from my drone building days over here. Let's try to solder a wire onto that. I'm sure it'll do it, but no harm in giving the old example there. A little flex on that. Normally I would use soldering tape, desoldering tape, and remove the old stuff. I will just add some new stuff again. This is just for funsies. Over here. Got my whiskers are holding on. There we go. Let's use some of that solder to tin this guy. Not too bad. Come over to that pad. And there you go. If that was going to be put on a drone, I'd redo it, but for demonstration purposes, I think that's good enough. And another thing, I always tell people every time you're done and you're ready to put it up, or just put it on the stand for standby, just give it a quick cleaning. Makes your tips last forever. If you just sit there letting them rot constantly, yeah, that's why people are constantly replacing tips. Plus cheap tips, but I've had cheap tips last forever as well. Just kind of cleans it off. Normally, what I'll do, being that we're closing things out here, before I put it away, I'll just kind of give it a quick whiff with a little bit of solder. One quick poke to clean it, and then just kind of shut the whole thing down. So there we go. That is the Parsagi Parsagi, whatever. Soldering station. Compared to the Maliff, I mean, it's a slightly upgraded version of it as far as menus and options go on the thing. I think it's better looking. I don't know. It's better. I'm pretty sure the Maliff was around $30, and this guy is coming in around $40 unless you go with the Milwaukee version of it. And I think they add another $10 or $20 on it because every time someone gets in a DeWalt versus Milwaukee fight in comment sections on social media, the Milwaukee people accuse the DeWalt people of being too poor to buy Milwaukee, even though they're similarly priced. I don't know. Whatever. If that's your flex, God bless you. But yeah. So yeah, it seems decent enough. Like I said, this Maliff one, as cheap as it is, it's been my go-to for over a year. Has not failed me yet. I've used it dozens of times, and I don't see why this would be any different as far as that goes. And yeah, now I just got to find a nice helper one day that seems like he has a brain on his shoulders enough to do some soldering, and I'll give this to him. And yeah, this will be my go-to. So let's close it out. There we go. That is the Parsagi soldering station. Yeah, I like it. It's definitely a upgrade from the old Maliff, so it's not like I'm buying the same thing twice in a row. I like the options and the standby modes and all that stuff that the Maliff did not have. Definitely an upgrade from this piece of crap. But yeah, so like I said, if it works as good as the Maliff did, I can't see how I could go wrong with this. I will link this one and any other color batteries that I could find down in the old description down there, and some of the other stuff that I used during the video that you guys might want to invest in if you are doing any soldering to make your solder joints a little bit better, or at the very least look a little bit better. But yeah, that's it as far as this video goes. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the old comments section. I will do my best to get back to you. I would like to thank you for watching. There you go.